Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Frank is in Myrtle Beach to start us off. Hey, Frank, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how are you?
Better than I deserve, sir. What's up?
Question. 53. I feel like I've done everything right except for retirement. House was paid off a couple years ago. I have a college fund for my kids. 2 kids, 18 and 15. All my cars are paid off, all 4 of them. I have a small. I got vested in years.
Wait a minute, you cut out. You're cut out. You have a small what?
Yeah, I have I'm vested, or I have like a pension or a retirement, whatever you want to call it, with the company that I worked for. I got vested for working for them for 13 years. So there's a small amount of retirement that's going to come from that.
Okay.
So it's not much. 13 years, it's probably not going to pay out that much. I have some income property.
What's your question, Frank?
So at this stage of my life, what can I do to, to 12 years away, what can I do to supplement my income, to supplement my retirement? Because I keep contributing to a 401k or a Roth IRA, and I've pulled the money out for hardship several times. And
Why?
I've never been able to just to pay bills. And I shouldn't have done that. I've made a couple of mistakes doing that.
Okay, you have debt now?
No debt.
Okay.
Zero.
Do you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses?
30,000.
Okay. So the chances of you needing to pull out money with the $30,000 buffer is close to zero, isn't it? Have we not corrected this problem? Sounds like we have.
Well, should I be contributing to a Roth at this point?
Yeah, if you're going to use the $30,000 to pay bills instead of the Roth.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an emergency pop up, don't cash out your freaking Roth again, right? You use the $30K. That's what it's for, right?
Yeah, but our income's pretty low right now. It's only about $30,000 to $40,000 for myself. My wife's about $25K. I've had health problems, haven't been able to go full time. I've never been able to really contribute the max up for a 401K, and I can't right now either.
Why not?
Well, I think you can max out all you can put in, and I think you can max out your Roth IRAs. You guys need to tighten your budget up and do a written budget. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. I mean, you said you're 63. I mean, dude, it's time. It's like past time. It's time to do this. You got nothing better to do than pile all your money in a pile in a 401k and Roth IRA as fast as you can.
If you've paid off all your debt and you've saved up your money and you don't have 15%, the math ain't mathin' to put towards retirement.
Exactly.
That means your budget's not right.
You have $50,000 income.
Yeah.
You sit down, do a written budget with your wife, and the two of you focus in and say, hey, we've got to make up some lost time.
Yeah.
And you can do it. It is possible. It's not too late. I mean, you're not going to end up with $2 million from that, but you are going to end up with a good nest egg and take that vested amount and roll it to a 401k. You need to jump into RamseySolutions.com and click on SmartVestor Pro and find a SmartVestor Pro in your area and sit down with them. And you and your wife develop a detailed game plan on how you're going to load this puppy up. Mm-hmm. Got some catching up to do.
Yeah, but he can do it. They just got to do it.
He does. It sounds like in the past that they had debt, didn't have an emergency fund, and were putting money in their 401k. And this is why people freak out. And we say, when we first start our program, do not put money in your 401k until you are debt-free other than the house. Baby step 2, and have the emergency fund, because you will use your 401k like he did.
That's right.
As your emergency fund. Mm-hmm. Dumb.
Yeah,
Won't
here
work.
it is played out.
Bad idea. Not dumb person, dumb idea.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Different thing there. So, yeah, you've got to do these things in that order. That lays the foundation to be able to win. Michelle's in North Carolina. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you. I'll get right to my question and then give a little bit of background, and hopefully you can figure this out for me. So my question is, should I have additional money withheld from my W-2 as a teacher to avoid owing money at the end of the year, as I have this year for the first time in my life, or focus on paying down high-interest debt? And I have about $20,000 of high-interest debt.
You should have the proper amount pulled out of your check for taxes, the amount you're actually going to owe. No more, no less.
That's the question then that I have. How can, for some reason, they cannot seem to figure this out.
Who's they?
So as my employer.
Oh, that's not their job.
Okay, how do I figure this out? Because I don't know how much they should be taking out.
Okay, how much extra did you owe this year?
$2,100.
Okay. And so that's suspiciously like about $200 a month. Has anything changed in this year versus last year for your tax situation?
No.
Buy a house, get rid of a kid, no longer got a dependent?
No, my son's 19, so he was already
going to be the same as last year. They're going to be the same as last year. Your income's going to be about the same. No big financial events that are causing a tax change.
No.
Then you could simply tell personnel to change your withholding by $200 a month, and you'll be okay.
Okay.
That's an easy way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
The more complicated way of doing it is actually sit down with a tax professional, do your taxes for this year. You're not going to file them, but do them and go, I owe exactly this amount. Divide that by your paychecks and make sure that much is coming out of your paychecks.
Okay.
And that would be exact. The IRS withholding tables are incompetent and wrong. They're from the IRS. Don't be shocked.
It's terrible.
And I claim so many deductions. I'll never forget my oldest daughter got her first job out of college, and she had to claim 9 deductions. And she had no dependents. She was a single college girl in an apartment. But she had to claim 9 to get the right amount of withholding. Their tables were that far off. Just stupid. So, that's what you're facing. So you can't. Personnel doesn't know how to do it. You can sit with a tax professional and figure it out exactly, and then take that number, go to personnel, say, withhold this from my checks. Or just change it by $200, which is $2,400 a year. You'll get a small refund next year if your taxes are exactly the same as they were this year. But it doesn't look like taxes are going to change much from 22 to 23. So I think you're going to be okay doing it that way. But if you want to be perfectly nerdy and do it the other way, you can go that way too. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. This is The Ramsey Show. Kate is with us. Kate is in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Kate. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Jade. Thank you for your time today.
Sure. What's up?
I have a question of whether or not I should pay off my mortgage using some of my CDs and investments.
What kind of investments are they?
They're diversified with capital growth, mid capital growth, core bonds, those kind of things. It was a life insurance
non-retirement
from my. I'm sorry.
Non-retirement.
Well, it's kind of turned out to be retirement.
No, is it in a
was
401k or an IRA?
No, it's with an investment company.
Right.
My previous husband passed away, and so it was his life insurance policy.
Oh, my.
I'm so sorry.
Well, he passed away during COVID. It's been a few years, but so I invested it because I didn't know what else to do with it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Except for our home.
Yeah,
we were debt-free except for our home, and I wanted to pay my home off, but just in that time, when I hadn't invested it.
Okay.
And I've since remarried, and we would just like to use, our money properly, and I'd like to kind of honor my late husband because we both wanted to have the people at home.
Yeah.
So I want to know if this would be a good idea, or if we should just buckle down and pay off what is left, what the balance is, because I have very little, and my interest rate is super low.
What is the balance?
Kate, want to get your
What's your balance, Kate?
The balance is $164.
How much is in your investments?
We have a net worth of $780.
What's in the investments?
That's probably about a total of $467.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you could pull some out and be mortgage free quicker than you know it. Just know that you're going to be on the hook for some taxes when you cash this out, right?
Okay, well, the CDs, I guess not, because when they roll over, I probably wouldn't do it in a big chunk. I'd have to, because they're rolling over at different times. I have about 4 different CDs that I could pull from, about $100,000, and then probably have to take the excess from the fund. So there may be a penalty with that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
No, there won't be a penalty. If you've invested in mutual funds, the only thing you'll have is taxes on what it is increased that you've not paid taxes on. If you get any capital gains on it, that's all. But your broker can tell you that. I wouldn't wait on the CDs to roll over. I'd just cash them out and do it. I'd be debt free this week. This week I'd be done.
Okay, and so second part to my question. So if we do this, I have a daughter who is a special needs adoption through the state of Florida. She's 23. She'll always have to be under my care. I do want to give her a sense of independence. We could build something on the property that we're on, this house that we would pay off, or if we could potentially find something in the next few years to move, would it still be a good idea to pay off this mortgage?
Pay off the mortgage this week. And then decide what you're going to do with whether you're going to add on or whether you're going to purchase is a different decision, and you're going to do that later.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything, because there's no time that you're going to lose money as a result of having paid off the mortgage. If you sold this house and moved to another one, they're going to give you a check at closing for all of the money.
Right.
It's not like you're consuming this money. You're moving it from investments to a paid off house, from one asset to another. And so the money doesn't go away. It's still sitting there. And so if you 2 years from now, 3 years from now say, hey, we're going to go buy this neat little place that's got a mother-in-law apartment for our special needs 25-year-old by then, you just sell your house, take the money out of it, and use that to purchase the next one, maybe with some of your other debt money or maybe not, but somewhere in there. But pay off your mortgage this week, Kate. This back and forth worrying about this, worrying if you did the right thing, is causing you more angst than it's worth. Just make a decision, pay off the mortgage, and then you're going to have a sense of peace just from having made a decision.
That's right.
It's all this all over the place that's driving you crazy, and you're wondering if you're doing the right thing all the time, and you are doing the right thing. By the way, you didn't do a dumb thing by investing the money.
I think that's a very smart thing to do.
You let it sit there while you're going through the grieving process. You reset your life, remarried now, and wow, I mean, you've gone through a lot in the last 36 months, and you kept your head about you through that. So congratulations. Very, very well done. Britton is in Oklahoma City. Hi, Britton. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I've got a question. My parents raised me in a Dave Ramsey home where now I'm 27 years old and I don't have any debt on my house, my cars, no student debt anywhere.
Man, you got to go home and kiss your parents on the lips. You're 27 years old with a paid-for everything.
Way to go.
What great moms and dads.
Yeah. But this is my question. I read somewhere Dave Ramsey's worth $600 million. And I want to get into that kind of wealth for my family and impacts that I can make with that kind of money. So I don't know how I get to the hundreds of millions of dollars with the kind of money that I'm making now. I think if I stay disciplined and conservative, I can definitely be multimillionaire. But hundreds of millions of dollars without taking on debt, I don't see how I'm going to get to that point. I love real estate. My wife is a realtor, and that's what we were really looking into, a lot of projects in real estate. But what would you tell me? I just don't know time-wise. That's the biggest constraint. How do you get to that much wealth?
Well, I think you set intermediate goals, number one. Number one, I'm going to work a traditional plan and go for the first 5 to 20 million. And the traditional plan that we talk about here all the time will put you in that category. But no, you're not going to become a billionaire with your 401k. It's mathematically impossible. So, and what you've got to do in that case is study billionaires. For instance, you could comb through and say, okay, the Forbes 400 are all billionaires now. You don't make the 400 anymore unless you're a billionaire. A billionaire is 1,000 million. It's a completely different stratosphere. Okay? And it's a completely different discussion. But you asked, so it's a fun discussion. So what we do is we study best practices. We'll study the Forbes 400. Okay? What do we find there? Do we find a bunch of trust fund babies? Nope. You don't find a bunch of inherited wealth. You find the Truett Cathy family at Chick-fil-A. You find David Green at Hobby Lobby. You find Oprah. You find Bezos at the top. You find Buffett at the top. You'll find Michael Dell. Okay? You'll find all kinds of things. And so what do you find? And all of those are first-generation rich, by the way. Walmart. Sam Walton when he was alive. Now that money is now dispersed to the next generation down, and I think each of those members are still billionaires. Pretty sure they are. But that is inherited wealth there because Sam, the old man, started Walmart, but it's Walmart money. So what you do find when you're going through there, and I've noticed this, is the vast majority of them are, it's like 69% are first generation rich. Okay? So that means it's possible, in other words. Then number two, how did they do it? Well, it wasn't funding their 401k. That doesn't get you to a billion. 1,000 million doesn't get you there. Okay. What they typically did was start an enterprise, start a business. So, I mean, you've got Gates starting Microsoft, you got Dell starting Dell, you got Chick-fil-A, you got Hobby Lobby, you've got Oprah is an enterprise. Oprah's not a brand. Oprah is an empire. A huge brand, but it's got, hundreds and hundreds of employees. And so, I know she's a person, but she's also a massive enterprise. And so so each of these people, I think almost all of them started businesses, and the business made them wealthy, the explosion of the business. Yeah. And or they took them public. Yeah. And the stock made them rich. Obviously, that's Buffett's situation.
Phil Knight.
Yeah, Phil Knight, Nike. Yeah, that's another one. So but they almost all were business enterprises, and they grew large businesses. And in my case, that's where my money came from. The vast majority of it is from running for Ramsey. I've got 1,100 team members. We do $300 million a year in gross revenues here at Ramsey. And so, obviously that's where my personal net worth came from. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dr. John Deloney here. I'm a huge fan of both meditation and prayer, and good mental health includes slowing down, gaining control of your thoughts, and plugging into something bigger than you. And Hallow makes it easy to start a daily practice of meditation, prayer, and finding peace. Hallow is the #1 Bible app in the world, and you can tailor content towards your faith tradition. From scripture readings and prayers to meditation and journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice prayer, meditate, and build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life and rediscover true peace. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today to get 3 months of Hallow for free. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, thank you to all of you who have subscribed and followed this show on your local podcast or your local YouTube channel. Thank you for doing that. Anytime you subscribe, anytime you follow, it helps us tremendously with our algorithms and makes other people aware the show is here. There's tens of millions of you out there. It looks like we're approaching about 30 million right now between talk radio and podcast and YouTube.
Wow.
A bunch of folk there. And thank you. And the reason that you're there is you told somebody. So share it. Share the show. Tell them where you're listening to talk radio. Tell them where you're, whether you're watching on TBN, whatever it is. Tell them you're following YouTube, whatever it is. Click the share link. And where appropriate, leave us a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. All of these things help us. We're not spending $300 million a year on advertising and marketing for this show. We don't have a football stadium named after us that we paid for, like SoFi or somebody like that. Excuse me, I got allergies. But it's out there.
Wow.
And so you guys are our marketing. Thank you. If you love it, tell people about it. If you don't love the show, well, spend your time doing something else. It's silly. Don't be here.
That's right.
So, anyway, we appreciate you. We're glad you're here. Thank you for being with us. Nate is in New York. Hi, Nate. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yeah, so I guess my main question is, I have the main question, I guess, is how should I go about paying off my debt?
What kind of debt do you have?
So I have about $48,000 in private student loans and $19,000 in federal student loans.
Mm-hmm.
I have about $12,000 on my car,
Uh-huh.
and I have a $7,500 personal loan.
What's your income?
Yeah, so my take-home pay right now is about $2,600 a month.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
What do you do?
I'm a support technician for my company's R&D.
What'd you get your degree in?
Math.
Math? Okay.
Math, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So I had this opportunity. So I was admitted into a master's in applied math program all the way across the country.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I have about $3,000 in my savings. And I also have about $2,500 in a 401k. I don't know why I put money in there at this point.
Right.
I
do. You're a math guy and you understood compound interest and you wanted to get involved.
That's it.
Yeah. But
the equation here is simple. You've got a big hole of debt and your income needs to come up. So we need to be working on ways to get that income up, short-term and long-term, right? You're just getting started, 23 years old. You're just getting started. I'm sure there's plenty of ways to move up in the field that you're in, right? Over time.
Yeah, I think so. The plan I kind of have right now is I'm thinking about just trying to get a second job,
right,
and working as much as I can.
Yep.
And then but I don't know if next year, by next September, let's say I have 20, 30. So right now I'm staying with my grandmother, and I'm trying to not spend any money on anything.
That's good. Again, let me go back. The equation is simple. What we're doing here is we're getting our income up. In the short term, that's looking like working an extra part-time job, some side hustles, and trying to get this paid off as quickly as possible. Another thing you can do is make sure that you're writing down your expenses and what you're spending through your budget, because you're going to optimize your money in that way. So those are the two things that you need to be doing: lowering your expenses through budgeting and increasing your income through part-time side jobs, that sort of thing. And that is the only way to skin the cat on this one. So Nate, there's no magic thing.
Nate, I took every math class that was available to me, all the way through AP. Math is my thing. I love it. So I love the way your brain works. It's the way mine works. And here's my warning. Don't over-analyze this. Okay? I nowadays, when I'm talking to someone like you, I use big math, I call it, meaning very little analysis. So what I'm looking at is I just added it up real quick in my head. You got $86,000 in debt, and you make $35,000 a year. Okay? $86,000 in debt means you need to pay off $43,000 a year for 2 years, and you're debt free. So what have we got to do that? You need to make about $35,000 more than you're making right now. And so you're going to lean in on your current job, push, do anything you can do to get promotions and move up, or change your current job to a better one. And you're going to work like a maniac at the best possible paying side hustle. I don't care if it's cleaning septic tanks or walking dogs. Do whatever you got to do for 2 years and get your butt in gear and go find you $43,000 a year for 2 years, and you're done, man. You're 25 years old and you're debt free. The whole mess is cleaned up, and you will have learned some things about Nate that you don't know right now. You will like him even better, because I like him. I think he's a good guy.
Do you think it's like worth it to take the school opportunity?
No,
if I still
you're broke.
No.
You don't need a master's in applied mathematics. You need a job.
Right.
You got to go get some money. You have a mess.
Yeah.
So Jade comes out, $38,000 in income with a couple of music degrees. Did I get that right?
You're about right.
And $465,000 in debt. They did not get out of $465,000 in debt, her and Sam, in 7 years with $38,000. You know what they did? They got their butt in gear.
You got to work, man.
And they got their incomes up, and their income up some more, and their income up some more. And they were making serious money by the end of the story. But the beginning of the story was pitiful. Mm-hmm. And the beginning of your story is pitiful. But the end of your story is going to be amazing, because you have that ability.
My only concern, so there's
Don't analyze this, Nate. Quit. You're getting paralysis of the analysis already. Right. You got to get in gear, man. You got to roar.
It's a simple equation on this.
Be a little dumber for the purposes of getting this done. This is just be a workhorse. Just get your butt in. How much money can I make legally and morally? How much can I work? And don't worry, you're not going to die from overwork. Right before you die, you pass out. Don't worry about it.
Hey, there's this, I'm sure you've read Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he talks about the idea of motion versus action. And the motion is, I'm reading all the books, I'm doing all the math equations, I'm rolling it over in my head over and over. But the time comes when you actually have to act and do the things that you're reading about, thinking about, listening to podcasts about, asking Dave's advice about. At some point, the motion has to transfer to action, and that's the only way that you're going to get out of this thing.
But, I mean, you and Sam just threw your shoulders back and roared.
Yeah.
You just went, I'm going! That's what you did.
You have to.
And then you guys went and you worked, and you did some crazy stuff to make money that was legal.
Yeah.
But it was like, you look back on it, you're like, you're nuts.
And that's what Nate's got to do. You don't have kids. You're not married. You can do crazy stuff like get a bunch of roommates so you're paying
She's staying with grandma for free. That's crazy right there.
You can do things like, sell everything you've got. You can get rid of this car if you need to and get a $2,000 car. There's a lot that you can do. You can work to all hours of the night. You're 23 years old. Your body doesn't, don't get me wrong, you need sleep, but I'm saying you can do the crazy right now, and do it now, dude. Don't put this off until, 10 years on down the line.
Listen, money comes from action and work. Mm-hmm. Go get you some.
That's right.
$43,000 a year for 2 years, you're done. And then call me up. We'll have you come down here. You can stand on this debt-free scream. We'll give you a big old hug and tell you we're proud of you. Because that's where you're going, man. That's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a wilted little snowflake. You're roar, man. Roar. Get it. Get it. This is the Ramsey Show. We have people who tune into every episode of The Ramsey Show. They know everything we teach about money. They can answer the questions faster than we can, and they still feel stressed and stuck. Because knowing what to do isn't the problem. Doing it, actually doing it, is the solution. Personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. And the proven way to change your behavior, actually doing it with money, is by taking Financial Peace University. The class is the difference between trying to get into shape on your own versus having a personal trainer. You'll have a coordinator who holds you accountable and other people in the class pushing you and cheering you on. And that's why this class has worked for over 10 million people. And after 9 weeks, you will never handle money the same way again. You will make progress faster than ever. Don't just listen to the show. Commit to doing what it takes to win. Join a Financial Peace University class at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Melissa is with us in Portland, Oregon. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call.
Mm-hmm. Sure, what's up?
I discovered your program 3 years ago, and since then we have paid off, my husband and I, $120,000 in debt, and I proudly drive a 2006 Honda Odyssey now.
Woohoo!
We have no debt other than our student loans and our house, but unfortunately, unfortunately, my husband has a private undergrad, a master's degree, and a separate law degree.
How much is that debt?
We still have $190,000 in student loan debt.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm glad you're on, Jade, too, because I know you have a similar experience.
Yeah, well, the student loan debt, yes.
Yeah. So
what's your household income?
We have about a $300,000 household income.
Mm-hmm, that's good.
So we have a big shovel, big hole, as you say, but about half of our income is I own a business. I'm self-employed, so it's a little bit more precarious, I would say. My husband's an attorney and is a little more stable, maybe.
So how can we help?
Yeah, so our other numbers to share, because I know Dave will ask because I listen all the time, we have about $20,000 in liquid savings. I'd like to have a little bit more, even though we're gazelle intense, just because I am self-employed. I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I have
3 to 6 months.
No, they still have $190,000 in debt.
We still have $190,000. So
I see. Yeah.
But because I'm self-employed,
okay, so what's your question?
Yes. Okay, so my question is, we live in a pretty somewhat unsafe area without great schools, and my oldest son is going to be in kindergarten next year, and so we are hoping to move in a year. We have about $200,000 equity in our house right now, but we've still been just paying the student loan debt.
What's the house worth?
The house is probably worth about $500,000.
Sounds like a rough neighborhood.
$500,000 homes.
I live in Portland, Oregon, so the housing prices are very high.
No, they don't have $300,000 slums in Portland, Oregon. $500,000 slums.
Yeah,
they don't have them. I've been there.
Yeah. So my question is, I think you're probably getting at, we should just stay in the house and not move.
Well, Melissa, I can take you and show you some real rough neighborhoods.
Some real ones.
Some real ones.
Yeah. It's just that I was hoping that my son would not have to move schools.
Okay, here's what I would do. Here's what I did. I sold my home, and I rented.
Okay.
And I changed my kids' schools. We had our kids in private school because we were in a neighborhood where we didn't like the schools. Nowhere near a lot longer ago than now, but nowhere near the same numbers you're dealing with. And we sold the house and dumped the private school tuition and rented for 2 years while we got ourselves straightened up and got out of debt, and then we bought. That's what you should do. You should sell your house, take the $200,000, pay off your student loans.
So we were very close to doing that last year, and to do that exactly, take the equity and pay off the student loans, which we could do. But our mortgage right now is only $1,600 a month.
Do I sound like I'm going to argue with you?
No, I'm just wondering if the rents are a lot more expensive than
you're not going to have a mortgage.
Hey,
you're not going to have a mortgage.
You do what you want to do, Melissa. Okay, you do whatever you want to do. I just told you what we think you should do. You should sell your house and you should rent. If you want to put the kid in the school, pay off your debts, take your fabulous $300,000 income and start saving up for a down payment. Rents are not, you have to get fatalistic on me every time we talk about it. You have the horrible ghetto that you live in that's a $500,000 home. That's a ridiculous statement. Then you have rents are so high that it's impossible to rent. Well, if you can't afford to rent in the school district your kid's going to go to, you can't afford to buy in the school district your kid's going to go to. So we have a bit of a problem here, Melissa. You're going to have to decide which of these things you want to do. You can't have it all. You've tried to have it all and made your life into a freaking mess. You've got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt, never saying no to you guys. So now it's time to say no. Stop it. Stop doing it. So either sit there and pay off your student loan debts starting today like wild people, or move and rent and use the equity to pay it off. You do whatever you want to do. That's what I would do.
I have an issue with this. I feel like this is kind of a trend right now where folks are calling in and they've said, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and I want to live in the best school districts, and I want Jimmy to have the best possible. And it's like, but if you can't afford it, it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense in the span of your reality. And sometimes you have the opportunity to make it make sense if you're willing to sacrifice, but you can't have it all without willing to have any ounce of sacrifice.
Most important. We wanted to stop the private school tuition in the case of the example I just gave. And we wanted to get rid of the IRS after bankruptcy, because the IRS never goes away.
Right.
We wanted those people out of our life. And we wanted the kids in a school system. We also wanted to own a house, but we wanted those other things more than owning a house.
Yeah.
And if you ask Sharon Ramsey to this day, that was, it's almost 25 years ago. Okay. To this day, she can describe the color of the kitchen floor in the rental. She hated that house.
I feel that.
The hate. And she can describe all the things that were wrong with that rental house. That period of our life was, we made choices about what was most important. The things that were less important were highly unpleasant.
Yeah, I feel that.
And you've got to do the unpleasant to get to do the pleasant.
I feel
you can't just have it all at once. It doesn't work that way. To your point, there is a limit on math unless you're in Congress. Other than that, the rest of us have to live within finite dollar amounts.
That's right.
And we have to live with the facts. And this arithmetic thing, it'll kick your butt.
It will. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I feel that, Dave. Talking about you can still see the rental. There was a townhouse that we lived in with roommates, and we used to come in, and I could smell, like, in my mind now, I can smell walking in the house, the roommates cooking like ground beef or something. I can see the old couch that they had. Why are you turning up
your lip about ground beef? What's your problem with ground beef?
I don't like the smell of it, Dave. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
No, I don't.
You are kind of a vegan type.
Yeah, I am. But it's just, the smell of ground beef smells like dog food to me. That's neither here nor there. But I can see the room. I can smell the room.
I mean, gosh. That's good eating.
Dave, stay on track, Dave. We're talking about the sacrifice, Dave.
Hey, I'm just saying, smelling ground beef doesn't feel like a sacrifice to me. It smells like supper to me.
Well, look, some folks can't cook. I'm just saying, some folks.
You're too much fun. So, guys, live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. You're going to pay a price to win. You need to decide intentionally which of these prices you want to pay. What's your number one priority? What's your number two priority? And then you're going to take a hurting on your number three temporarily. This is The Ramsey Show.
What's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Olivia is with us in Roanoke to start this hour. Hi, Olivia. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Jade. How are you?
Great. How can we help?
Good. I just want to start off by saying that I'm actually in FPU, Rachel's FPU class right now, so I'm super excited about that. I am a stay-at-home mom to 2-year-old triplet boys.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
My husband is a car salesman in Bristol, Virginia, and so his commute is about 45 minutes to an hour. He also has very long hours, and so he leaves the house at 7 and gets home at 9:30. Therefore, I am by myself with these 3 crazy boys for that whole time. I just need some guidance as to, I'm not really sure. So he has been a car salesman for about a year and a half. He is up for a big promotion. The CEO has actually said that he is next in line for finance school, and that would be a huge raise for us. He's making about $100,000 to $115,000 right now, and he would be making about $250,000 to $300,000.
Doing what?
Being a finance manager.
A finance
in the car.
manager. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, at a car dealership.
Okay.
And the only reason why I know those numbers is because there's only 2 in there, and they both make basically the same money. So I just need, I guess, some guidance for me mentally. It is really hard. I don't want to be, have a pity party, but it's really hard on me by myself with 3 boys, and he is never home. So I guess, I was talking to Rachel about it, and, I don't want him to lose this opportunity because it is a season and they will be going to school, in a couple of years. And it's just really hard right now doing it. So I guess my question is,
would the finance manager have less hours or more hours?
About the same.
Okay. All right.
And that would really help us. We're on baby step number 2 right now.
So the promotion is not a question. The question is whether you just continue in this career field.
Correct.
Well,
yeah.
Is the bigger problem that he's not around much, or is the bigger problem that you just need help at home? And whoever it is, if it's help with a babysitter coming every once in a while, what's the bigger problem?
It's a little bit of both. Of course, we severely miss him, but I know that he's working for us and for our future, and, to be able to, sit on the beach at 65.
Well, to start, let's just say anyone who manages 3 triplets, 2 years old, 12 hours a day by yourself. That's wild.
Yeah.
You're not whining to ask a question. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's crazy land. And, but now then, the problem is you've got this other valid thing. That's a valid thing. The other valid thing is $250,000 a year is a pretty dadgum good deal.
Absolutely.
And, you're making some serious bank there. Could you move over there and, give you an hour and a half back a day, get rid of the commute?
So, yes, we actually moved here from Richmond, Virginia for this job opportunity. And this was the first house that we just, found because...
So what? So sell it. It's a stupid house.
Okay.
Move to Bristol.
Look, getting that time back in a commute is everything.
Rent a house next door to the dealership. Absolutely. He can come home for lunch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that as well. I have talked to him. There's actually a house literally like 0.2 miles away.
Let's go.
And he says, well, it's on a very big road, and the house is right up on the road.
Well, you don't have to do that house. That's not the point. The point is move over there. Okay, because 2 hours a day of this is commute.
Absolutely.
And then like you got traffic jams in freaking Bristol.
Absolutely.
There's no traffic jam. This is just a long way over there.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And it's horrible.
Yeah, sell the house and move. Sell the house and move and hire a nanny.
That's what you need. Look, Olivia, when my family moved here to Tennessee, and before this, I was basically worked from home. I was with my kids as much as I need to. So this was a big change. And we knew going in, the commute needed to be very short. I can meet my husband for lunch. The kids can come by for lunch. I'm home in 20 minutes. Like that is everything. So I think that starting there.
We work some serious hours here.
Yeah. So I think starting there is going to make all the difference in the world. And finding ways to bring each other into your day is a big part of this. Like I said, if you guys can meet up for lunch, any of that stuff. And like Dave said, having help, just having a sitter come for 2 hours a day or an hour just to give you some sanity back, because your mind ain't working right. You know what I mean? When you're with kids like that all day.
And hey, if you're gonna make if you're gonna make an extra $150,000 a year, we can offset. We got some money to spend.
That's right.
Yes.
So spend 20 on a nanny.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not a spoiled little brat. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
You deserve. That's okay to do. That's the cost of him doing this.
That's right.
Yes.
Now, are you guys working through a lot of debt right now too? Is that what's giving you pause?
No, we have 2 car payments and a mortgage, but I guess it's just the fact of we're, of course, eating rice and beans and rice, and just really trying to gung-ho on everything.
Look, the price for sanity is a small price to pay.
No, I mean, you're netting out, okay? Because your other option is untenable. It's not, your situation is not sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
At 250, at 150, at 350, it's not sustainable.
That's right.
Because you're telling yourself that. You've got that message loud and clear in your head. And that is not whining. And so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to take the promotion. We're going to move over there. We're going to take some of that $250,000, that extra $150,000, and we're going to use it to hire a nanny. And that's not whining. It's how we're able to pull this off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How does Rachel and Jade with small children pull off New York City media appearances and book launches and doing this show 3 hours a day when they're down here to do it, and doing media hits at 6 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning on Fox? How do they pull that off? Help.
Right.
And so there's an offset that has to be there to be able to actually cause that to occur.
That's right.
So that's how you do it. And I don't think you're. If I thought you were whining, I'd tell you because I love you. But I don't think you're whining. I think
this
you
is
got
a real deal.
reasonable situation where you need some help. But you guys need to go, okay, this is not working. What do we got to change? And that's what we started doing. We started prescribing changes to you. Now, so I'd get down there right close to the office, very little commute, see him more, and I'd hire a nanny, and I'd take the promotion. And then, hey, a year from now, 2 years from now, if it's still wired up, maybe you do something different. But let's give it a shot. This is The Ramsey Show.
Y'all, there's a lot you can't control when it comes to healthcare, but there is something you should check out that can help. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not insurance. It is budget-friendly, biblically based health cost sharing. That means a community of members helping share the burden of each other's healthcare costs. They help people just like you in all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Learn more today at chministries.org/budget.
Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Stacy is with us in Canada. Hi, Stacy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to get your advice.
Well, thank you. How can we help?
My husband and my family, we live on a farm, and we pay really cheap rent where we are because we help out on the ranch. So that's a good situation there. So we ended up buying a waterfront lake home to leave for a legacy for our kids when they grow up. So we do have that paid off now. So I guess technically we're done baby step 7. So now we're looking at buying a house instead of staying on this ranch forever. So I guess the question is, what order should we do this? Should we buy a house? It would be about $900,000 we'd have to save for. Or should we just go ahead and save a quick down payment on a smaller house in town that we could rent out and it would pay the mortgage while we save for our bigger purchase house? What would you do?
What happened to living on the ranch for reduced rent?
Oh, we're going to do this as long as possible, so we would consider buying a country expensive home and renting that out. It would never cover the mortgage, but we just don't know how long.
Why would you need to do that? I mean, why do you need to buy something?
I guess so our money grows. We feel like that's the way we should do it, as opposed to just saving it in a savings account.
Okay. No, I would not buy a rental property with debt.
We don't have any debt.
No, you'd be buying a rental property with debt, and I would not do that
because we don't want it.
I would not do that. If you want to invest in good mutual funds, you can do that. And then when you're ready to purchase a home someday, you'll have a big pile of money in your mutual funds. That might be okay.
Okay.
And that's not a savings account. And no, I would not park it in a savings account. I don't want $1 million in a savings account, but you don't have $1 million. But what's the lake house worth?
$460 or I think $518 this year.
Okay. And you don't rent it out, do you?
No, it's too rustic.
Yeah. Okay. Rustic $400,000. We got.
I was thinking the same thing.
We got a lot of. Yeah. Okay. No. Do not go buy a rental property with debt, which is in essence everything you asked. Every question you asked, every way you asked it involved buying a rental property with debt. You're not going to move off the ranch. You're going to stay in the cheap rent now. And whatever you were going to buy, you were going to have a mortgage. And whatever you were going to buy, you were going to rent. And so whether it was large or small or 900 or whatever it was, it didn't matter. It's all involved. No, I would not go into debt. No, absolutely not. I would invest in good mutual funds. If you want to buy some investment property, save up and pay cash for it.
Okay.
But don't buy don't buy an investment property that you think you're going to live in 20 years from now, because you won't. The chances of you moving in that house 20 years from now is precisely 0.
That's actually a good point that we hadn't really thought of. We were thinking of picking something out we would like, but yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, your life is going to change. Your dreams are going to change. The dishwasher is going to change. Technology is going to change. You're not going to move in that house in 20 years.
I was wondering where the 900.
No, that was the home she wanted to live in someday.
Got you.
That was the future, the 20 year from, or whatever, however number of years we stay on the ranch. I don't know. But yeah. It took me a minute to kind of unwind all that. You've done a really good job. Everything you pay cash for, you've got the, basically the parsonage on the ranch, so to speak, where you're living there virtually free, and you've been piling up money. You've done really, really, really good, and then you got the real estate itch. I guess you got on TikTok or something and got the real estate itch. So no, don't go into that stuff. I mean, I love real estate, but I love paid for real estate, and that's what I would tell you to do. So. All right. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Student loan payments will restart soon, and many borrowers aren't ready. Interesting article from CNBC here.
Yeah, it says the more than 3-year-long pause on federal student loan payments is slated to finally conclude within months. And we know that they've, passed this debt ceiling legislation per se, or this deal. And part of that, they've said, you're not going to extend this payment pause any longer. So we know, let it be known, student loans are resuming.
Wait a minute. Did we tell you that? Oh, yeah, we told you that.
We've been telling folks this, Dave.
We told you that they weren't going to be forgiven, that you're going to pay them. We told you that, didn't we? Yeah. Okay.
And now it's time to pay the piper. The piper calleth, and it's time to start paying.
This is the King James version of Jade.
Yeah. But
piper calleth.
Dave, I wanted to highlight some of these numbers because I don't think people really understood what's taking place. Obviously, your payments have been on pause, no interest, no payment due, in quotes, but this was such a great opportunity to take advantage. Most people during this pause, Dave, have saved about $15,000 in payments. That's what they've saved during this time by not having to pay.
And what did they do with them, pray tell?
Nothing!
Wait.
Nothing.
They saved $15,000. They don't have $15,000?
No, Dave. They bought hamburgers and they bought expensive lattes. And they bought car payments for $717. That's what they bought. And here's where my soul was crushed when I read only less than 1% of people continued to make payments during the pause. There is less than 1% of smart people who took advantage and said, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to make payments. They're going to go straight to the principal. I'm saving money every month. I can put that back on my debt, hit the principal, pay it off. And instead, a lot of people said, you know what? I'm cool with this. I'm cool with the fact that this pause, it's free money, right? No, it's not free money.
It was it cost the taxpayers like $1 billion, $5
billion.
Yeah.
Billion.
Billion.
A month.
Billion. Yeah.
Per month. Dave.
Per month?
Per month. I can't.
That's what I paid for you people to not have to pay your student loans.
$5 billion
like a taxpayer
per month
and stuff.
No, Dave, this is free money. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
$5 billion a month for people, so that people could not have to pay their student loans. And did they use that opportunity to get ahead?
No.
Answer, no. 1%.
Less than 1%. And here's
paid the loans down.
43 billion people have benefited from the student loan pause.
43 million, not billion.
What did I say? Yes, thank you. 43 million. Correction. And here's my thing. Everybody's still whining, hoping that this Biden's forgiveness will come through. They want the $10,000, right? They want the $20,000. You got 15 and you squandered it. So no, you shouldn't get another 10. You should not get another 20. You got 15 back and non-payment. And what did you do?
I like the word. You scoundrel.
You squandered it.
You squandering scoundrel.
Yeah. You squandered it on burgers and going out
with the burgers.
Costco hot dogs, going out to eat, buying new clothes.
Avocado toast. That's why they squandered. Come on.
Chipotle. That's what you spent it
on.
Get
off my burgers.
All right. Chipotle. Tacos. Chicken. How about that one?
This is great.
But the point here is,
lobster.
These payments.
That's what they squandered it on.
Look,
lobsters.
I would have rather you squandered it on lobster. But the point is, these payments are coming back, and it's time to get in check, guys, because it's coming. It's knocking on the door.
So Brooks, a single mother of two, did nothing, and as an extra $600 a month is going to start coming now. She has $100,000 in. I'm sorry, no, she has $240,000 and she makes $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And she says, where's the extra $600 a month going to come from? Less hamburgers. This is the Ramsey Show. Get out of here. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, Dr. John Deloney here. I'm a huge fan of both meditation and prayer. And good mental health includes slowing down, gaining control of your thoughts, and plugging into something bigger than you. And Hallow makes it easy to start a daily practice of meditation, prayer, and finding peace. Hallow is the #1 Bible app in the world, and you can tailor content towards your faith tradition. From scripture readings and prayers to meditation and journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice prayer, meditate, and build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life and rediscover true peace. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today to get 3 months of Hallow for free. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Hey, if you're out running around America and you're in the Nashville area, just south of Nashville is a wonderful town called Franklin, Tennessee. Civil War era square that you can walk around and enjoy. And one exit south of there, you'll find the Ramsey headquarters, which includes a lobby and free homemade chocolate chip cookies and coffee. Come in and visit. We do the show on the glass every day from 1 to 4 Central Time. And so you can come in and watch this happen every single day. And part of what happens in the lobby is usually 50 to a couple of hundred people sitting around. And part of what happens in the lobby is also we have this little thing called the debt-free stage. And standing on it are Ivy and John. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. Good.
Love having you guys here. Where do you live?
Appleton, Wisconsin.
Appleton, Wisconsin. Awesomeness. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
$347,356,000.
Wow.
Boom!
Wow.
Get it, Ivy. I love it.
Thanks.
Well done. Well done. How long did this take?
74 months.
74 months.
Yep.
And your range of income during that?
Anywhere from 80 to 180,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a plumber.
Very good. 2 great careers. Well done. Very good stuff. Always in demand, both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never without work, for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Whether you want to do it.
Very good. So I'm going to guess and say in Appleton, Wisconsin, on 74 months and 347, you paid off your house.
Yes, we
Yes.
did.
Oh,
let's go.
Baby step 7. Boom, boom, boom. What's this house worth? Roughly.
With this market, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, guess, just roughly.
Probably 300. I'd say 300,000.
Why did you owe 347 on it? It's worth
It
more than
wasn't
that.
just the house.
Oh, that was. You paid off a bunch of stuff.
Everything.
Everything.
This is what we paid off to
Break it
get.
down.
So you live in a
debt.
$300,000 house. It's paid for.
Yes.
And you paid off what other kind of debt?
Well, so I started back in 2012. I had all of the debt. I had the student loans, the car payment, the credit cards. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2004, so medical debt. And then I had a very short marriage in which I paid a lot of money, so divorce debt. And later that year, I was kind of wondering what I should do financially wise, and in the bulletin at church was an advertisement for your class.
There you go.
So I didn't know how I was going to pay for your class.
When did John come along in this picture?
A couple of years later.
I was hoping he was in the financial peace class, just waiting on you.
We took it together again.
Again. Okay, all right.
I started working.
I hear it's romantic. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Well, it's something. No, I started doing it, and I met John later that year, actually. We got married in 2014.
Yep. Excellent.
But we didn't do our finances together.
Uh-oh. How long before you did that?
2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
All right.
This was a journey.
This was a journey. So in 2016 is when we started with the Gazelle Intensity.
Yeah.
I'll let John
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
I want to know what happened to make you guys get on the same page. I mean, 2 years of doing your finances separate.
Then what pushed you together?
Yeah.
Well, one, I had my own business for 10 years before, roughly 10 years before I sold the tools and the truck. But I guess it came to...
He wanted to buy a brand new work truck, and it scared me.
Got it.
At the time, it was going to be a $60,000 truck, probably much more than that now. But we kind of kept the business and the personal stuff separate. And the whole idea of a truck payment on a business where he was his only employee scared me.
So you were like, I got to be able to control this a little bit.
So I said, before we buy a truck, can we go take Financial Peace University again? Because you're kind of hard to explain to people.
Apparently you flunked. Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah. No, I know. You said again. Did he?
I never took it.
That was your first one.
That was my first.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So it wasn't again for him. I got it.
No, but I wanted him to experience the whole experience. So
you knew I could talk him out of it.
Right,
and
I
you
couldn't. Yes, that's pretty much what happened.
It's all good.
It was, please don't buy a truck till you talk to Dave.
That ended that. I think it was a trick, John. All right, so very cool. Now you're 100% free.
Yes.
Now, obviously, you're doing really well with the MS.
Yeah, I actually found out that a lot of it, I get really expensive stuff, the drugs doesn't work for me. So, diet and exercise.
And stress.
Well, no more money stress.
There you go. That's a big deal.
I've got a good friend that has been dealing with it for about 20 years, and they keep her stress level down and her fatigue, keep her from getting fatigued, and she does great.
Yeah.
And is doing no drugs.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's different for different patients, I understand.
Exactly.
I'm not medical, you are. But I mean, you're obviously doing great. Congratulations. I'm proud for you.
Thanks.
Very cool, guys.
Very cool.
Congratulations. How's it feel to be 100% free, 11 years into marriage?
Awesome.
Really good.
No debt of any kind.
Yeah, it's weird.
Be so rich. It'll be unbelievable. How much is in your nest egg already?
Oh, so you missed that part of the story. John will tell you that part of the story.
Okay.
Your retirement. What you did with your business. A mistake way back.
Yeah. So I worked for a company as a plumber, and then when I started my business, things were financially not that great. I ended up
you cashed it
in, which learned I wasn't supposed to be doing that. But now we're doing really
we're playing
good.
catch up.
So
on
where
that.
are you now? What's your nest egg now between the two of you?
Probably 500,000.
There you go.
Okay. So you're almost millionaires.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Baby step millionaires
Very
soon.
close.
Yeah, very good. I'm proud of y'all.
We just look at it as where could we be?
No,
It's a journey. This is a journey.
No.
Yep.
No. I mean, I could have been a slumlord. I could have kept a bunch of lower income real estate agents that I had, and it's all gone. And I went bankrupt. I could be there. Thank God I'm not. I mean, life is. You could be a lot of places, but now you guys are together. You got a great marriage. You're smiling. You're fun. You have a paid-for house, and you're almost millionaires, and you're still young pups. Well done.
Right.
Thanks.
Very well done. I'm proud of you. Good work. Wow.
Very
Ding, ding.
cool. Yeah. I love to hear it.
Okay, what do you
Everyday
tell people when somebody asks and they say, okay, how'd you do that? What do you tell them the key to getting out of debt and building wealth is?
You have to talk to the other person about money. I mean, we tried that the first couple of years of our marriage, and it didn't work. There's some pretty stressful conversations that are had.
You have to have them.
Yes. Yeah.
If you buy a truck, I'm going to kill you. Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
Well, not quite that.
No, you would never say something like that.
Pretty close.
It'd be a slow death.
Pretty much. So, yeah, it's really the difficult conversations that you don't want to have, and they're tough. So,
but it's worth going through that, coming out on the other side of that.
Yeah.
There's an incredible peace and cleanliness that comes with complete openness, complete unity. We're dialed in. We're doing everything together, making decisions together. Even though sometimes it causes some momentary discomfort, the long-term benefits are unbelievable. They're very good.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of y'all.
Thanks.
Excellent job. Excellent job. You're why we come down here. Very, very cool. Good stuff. All right. It's Ivy and John, Appleton, Wisconsin. Quite the journey. Everything's paid off. Baby step 7, house and everything, approaching baby steps millionaires status. $347,000 paid off in 74 months, making 80 to 180. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free!
Yeah! Yeah! Get it! I like it. Powerful stuff.
Great.
Hey, we've got the Live and Give bundle for them that includes the Total Money Makeover book, the Baby Steps Millionaires book, and another Financial Peace University membership. They'll be able to give those things or keep them for themselves. Everyone who comes and does a debt-free scream gets that. This is The Ramsey Show. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. We're glad you're here. Susie's with us in Virginia. Hi, Susie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
I would like to thank you, first of all, for sharing everything that you've learned to help others have financial freedom.
Well, thank you.
My husband and I had listened to the show for a couple years, and we had applied some of your teachings in the baby steps, and we kind of forgot an important one. We had paid off all of our debt, and we were working. He was throwing everything at the house, and he unexpectedly passed away in September of last year.
Oh, my goodness.
And,
How old was he?
And, he was 67.
Oh, my. Oh.
And
How long were you all married?
It was 20 years.
Wow. I'm so sorry.
It was quite sudden. He was very physically fit. It was a very unexpected. He had been to the doctor, and the doctors gave him, a clean bill of health. And, I knew and he knew that something was not right. But ultimately, he had an LLC. We had 3 different locations, convenience stores. And I was thrown into a whirlwind and mourning for my husband at the same time. But the good news is the business had an emergency fund. And so I was able to keep the business afloat, really not knowing. Technically, I just always assisted him. He was an accountant, and he had a business degree, and he had run convenience stores for 40 years. So I was just the assistant wife, but we only had debt on the house. It was amazing because the month before he passed, his life insurance policy ran out, and he was like, honey, my rate's going to go up. And I was like, no, don't pay it. You're just fine. And so listening to your show, he knew how important it was because we did have a business, and we have one more child that is she just graduated high school, and so she wanted to go to college, and so he felt like he needed to have this. And so he paid the extra high premium on the life insurance, and then less than 30 days he had passed.
Wow.
And so I ran the locations for 5 months. We didn't have a plan. He unfortunately did not have a will. So I'm dealing with probate. Like I told you before, we were best buds.
Did you get the stores sold?
Yeah, I did. I sold the locations. And so that's why I called you, because I just wanted to thank you because, we did not have any debt and we were following through with the plan, but then yet we were missing two bigger pieces of what happens if. And so I just randomly asked him one day how much the locations that how much do you think that they were worth? I mean, and so I had an idea, and the people came and they bought the store, and it was a blessing. The Lord was involved in all of it because I really didn't. All of the numbers were up in his head. Wow. Nothing was written down. But where I am now, I've been mourning for 9 months. I ran the stores for 5, so it's been about 4 months, and I'm ready to start dealing with all of the money that it is in the bank.
So how much do the stores sell for?
Almost $1 million.
Wow. And how much was the life insurance?
Location, because each location had about 100.
Yeah. How much was the life insurance?
It was a 500.
Okay. So you're sitting on 1.5 now?
Well, I had to pay off the house.
Okay, good.
That's good.
Nothing wrong with that. So how much have you got left?
Well,
about $1 million.
Over.
Okay.
That's
all right,
great.
good.
And then,
how old are you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm 44.
Oh, okay. You got all kinds of time. Okay, cool. Wow.
So I guess I went on the website and I looked up one of the financial advisors and I called them and then I met with another. And so my question is, yesterday I was kind of impulsive, and because I feel like the money that's sitting in there, I feel like it's just it's not growing, and I feel like
it's not. But don't get impulsive or panic. Take your time. Get with someone that has the heart of a teacher. Did you meet with a SmartVestor Pro?
I met with him, but I didn't make any decisions. And I tell you, the reason why I did it is...
that wasn't what I was asking. So the first meeting, you don't need to make a decision. You're just meeting them. You're interviewing them. How did you feel, not what did you think, how did you feel when you walked out of there after meeting that person?
I didn't feel like he was listening to my heart's desires.
Okay.
And so when he was showing me his plan...
listen, you got to go with that. So go back on the website, pick out another SmartVestor Pro, and go sit down. You need to have a sense that they have the heart of a teacher, or you don't work with them. And let me tell you, right now, you're a walking raw nerve because of what you've been through. And so you're feeling, the reason I asked that very specific question is you're feeling things at a heightened level of awareness. There's a lot of pain and a lot of fear of making a mistake. And all of this is heightened, and so your nerve endings are all chattering. They're going, right? Am I wrong?
Correct. No, you are so right.
Yeah, and so just breathe. And what you need to have is a sense of peace and a sense of you're dealing with a solid person with the heart of a teacher.
Yeah, and when you talk to these investment professionals, if they don't want to answer your questions, or if they make you feel like what you're asking is silly, or you've asked too many questions, for me, that's a red flag to go to someone else, because that's what they're there. They're there to help teach you, help guide you, and you should feel like I can ask, I can speak to them, and they're not making me feel silly or dumb for what I'm asking.
It might be that the other SmartVestor Pro that you met with is excellent at their work. Mm-hmm. They are not excellent for you at this moment in your time, because you're in a very unique situation, and you've got to have someone that slows everything down right now. Take your time. You don't take 2 years, but you don't take 2 minutes either. Just slow down. You need to walk through this, and it needs to feel like you're walking downstairs in the dark and you hadn't turned on the light. You're going to feel that step before you take the next step, and feel that step before you take the next step. Put my foot on solid stuff. You hearing me?
Hey, yes.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You are wise, and you don't need to apologize for not having the business or the accounting background. The lady that I've just heard her story performed beautifully in a high-stress environment. Mm-hmm. I think you did an amazing job. And so you can trust you. You are trustworthy. You're worthy of trust, Susie. Look in the mirror. You can do this. And if you need help, you call here any time. We're here to help you. And if you need some more help, if you want to get with our team, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Hook her up with the guys upstairs that run SmartVestor Pro, and make sure that she sits down with the right one. Just have our guys, let's just do a hand in glove, white glove experience here, okay? Let's just make sure this is a widow. She needs to be taken care of. No charge.
Whew.
There we go.
That's why I love working here, Dave. That right there.
That's the way we do it. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for joining us, America. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Thank you for being with us. Jose starts off this hour in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Hey, Jose, how are you?
Hey, Mr. Ramsey and Mrs. Jade. How are y'all today?
Great, man. Good. How can we help?
Yes, sir. Well, I just want to start real quick by thanking your entire team. I met most of y'all at the Smart Conference for your grand opening, and what a fine event. So thank y'all for what you do.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate you coming over to Nashville for that.
Thank you, sir. It was a great trip.
Cool. How can we help today?
Yes, sir. So I'll start right off the bat. I just left my 9 to 5 job, and as an assistant manager, and just due to poor leadership, and I went ahead and started my own remodeling and handyman services company right off back to back within a week. So I'm just calling for some wisdom. I just need to, get some do's and don'ts from you. But I need some coaching.
Okay. On leadership, on money, what are we talking about here?
I would say, finances, I guess to start off, this would be my second venture. Mm-hmm. I've done the food truck before. It went well. I sold it to get my house. But right now I'm on baby step 2, And starting off, fresh with my second venture now as a remodeler and handyman. So, finances. What was that?
Is it just you in the business, or do you have other folks that are working with you or contracting?
Right now it's just me, just myself. Looking to, see if I can hire up here in the near future. But
okay, so you feel confident about estimating the jobs in such a way that the pricing is fair, but you make a profit.
That is correct, sir. Yes.
Okay. All right. So what I would tell you then is make sure the first thing you do, if you haven't already done, is open a business checking account. It doesn't have to be complicated. Okay. It can be just a DBA account. Jose DBA, doing business as Jose's remodeling company or whatever. And it's just Social Security number. You don't even have to have a tax ID number to do that. You can if you want, but it's not necessary. And then make sure 100% of the income of the business goes into that account, and the only thing you pay out of that account are expenses. What's left, by definition, if revenue minus expenses is what's left in the account, by definition, your account balance is your profit.
Okay.
On a simple cash basis accounting system is what you're creating there. Okay. Now, when you pull money out of that account to take it home to pay bills and eat and all those glorious things, you need to also set aside 1/4 of everything you pull out of that account. So if you pull $1,000 out, you set aside $250 and set that in a separate savings account that you have labeled taxes so that you can pay your quarterly estimates. And until you make about $100,000 profit, your quarterly estimates are going to be right around 25%. Because your net tax rate is going to be a little over 10, and you got 15.3 because you get the opportunity to pay both sides of FICA, called self-employment tax, because small business people pay double tax. So
I understand.
Yeah, and so, because we in America, and Washington, D.C. really believes in small business, so they tax you twice. So
the gift of business ownership.
Yeah, that's it. So, that's what you do. And so, you set aside 1/4 for taxes. You pay your quarterly estimates on time. And then the trick here is, of course, to manage the estimating process. And, I'd pick me up some software to do that, some estimating software, and build it into an accounting system if you can. It's not real complicated to do, so that you track how closely you and accurately you do that, and you charge all of your tools and all of your purchases to a job. Job cost everything.
Okay, that's great.
And that way you say, okay, that job was, I had to buy an extra tool that was X number of dollars to do this job, and this job bought the tool, and I still made a profit. Okay, that way you don't end up taking all your money and buying tools. Mm-hmm. Because in your business, you can just buy tools for everything. You buy tools for days.
Yeah, last night I was at Home Depot, and of course, I'm pretty sure you've seen the Milwaukee pack-out system, and I need to go home, just relax, think about it, and then I'm like, well, I don't need to spend $1,000 right off the bat.
Yeah, let a job buy that for you. Okay. Some job where you'll actually utilize that, because that's a great system, by the way. I love the Milwaukee stuff, but I'm a tool nut. But jump in there, but let a job pay for it, and that way you're not just a boy collecting goodies.
I see. Okay. Last question would be, I do listen to the Entre Leadership, and for leadership purposes, I'm trying to, grow a better leader, just so that when the day does come when I need to hire, of course, you set really great examples there at the Resumption Solutions. So just a couple pieces of wisdom that I can use for my tool.
In your situation, it sounds like the first type of hire probably wouldn't be like a full or part-time person. It'd probably be just a contracted worker. It's a handyman business, so you might be hiring a guy that does a specific task, and you're just hiring him to do that task for that job. And maybe, you've worked out something where he's coming back to you just to do that type of labor. I don't see how right away you'd be making a payroll hire, unless it was somebody to do bookkeeping or something like that, or, do the office end of things. Yeah, and that might be on down the line.
I mean, you got to have so much work that you're covered up and you simply can't get to it. And then you can justify payroll position. But in terms of how you treat people, I think we all learned from the time we got peed on, right? That time you went to work and the guy pissed on you. I mean, you're not going to do that. So I had a guy cuss me out when I was in my early 20s and fire me, yelling the F-bomb at me the whole time. I still don't know what I did. I still don't know why I got fired. I probably actually deserved it, but I don't know what I did.
I just want to meet the man that cussed out Dave Ramsey.
Well, I was 20 years old.
Understand.
I was kind of aghast. I was just caught off guard. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm out of here. I'm done. Okay, I'll clean up my desk. It's okay. But I still don't know what I did to this day. And he died, so I'll never know. But out of that, what did I learn?
Wow.
I've had over the years we've got 1,100 team members. We've probably got 1,500 people that used to work here that either left and got better jobs or got married and moved to Oklahoma, or some of them we fired. But every single person we fired knows why, and none of them were cussed in the process. So I just decided I'm not going to treat other people like I got treated. So treat other people like you want to be treated.
Golden rule.
The golden rule. I mean, it's not hard. And so just be kind and gentle and courageous and firm and truthful. Treat other people like you want to be treated. You tell them you're going to pay them, pay them. You tell them they need to do something, make sure they do it. Treat other people like you want to be treated. And to be unclear is to be unkind. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 40% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. If you're a business leader, there's something you need to know. All the best leaders spend time and, yes, some money investing in their own growth. As our friend John Maxwell likes to say, leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. You've got to invest in yourself if you want to grow. And what better way to do that than to attend the premier leadership conference of the year? Entree Leadership Summit. We just finished the one that we did this year last week here at the Nashville Gaylord Hotel. And next year, we're going to be in Dallas. You're going to be challenged and motivated by the top minds in leadership. People like James Clear from Atomic Habits is going to be speaking. Craig Groeschel, Pastor Craig, pastor of America's largest church, arguably, and one of the founders of the YouVersion Bible app with 500 million downloads now. Craig is an incredible leadership speaker and a good friend. Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs and Deadliest Catch will be there. Carrie Lawrence, America's first female fighter pilot. And is she inspiring? Wow. I'm telling you. Some guy named Dave Ramsey will be there. So you never know about that guy. But, hey, the rest of them probably going to be pretty good. And next year's Summit's 10-year anniversary of this, we've been doing it, and we're taking it to the Gaylord Texan in Dallas to celebrate. If you want to grow your leadership ability and celebrate all that you've accomplished as a leader so far, you need to join us. It's going to be an incredible week, April 21st through the 24th. incredible 3 days, actually. Seriously, if there's a year to be there, it's this one. You do not want to miss this. To learn more, go to RamseySolutions.com/summit. RamseySolutions.com/summit. Our question of the day, sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services. If you're moving, you have a long list of to-dos, but Neighborly has local pros like Housemaster, 5-Star Painting, Window Genie, and Junk King. And one of the Mr. Electric guys dropped by the lobby here a little bit earlier from Neighborly. Right. Yeah, pretty cool. So visit neighborly.com to schedule home service experts near you.
Today's question of the day comes from Tony in Michigan. He says, I'm 56 years old and have no debt. I have $1.4 million in the bank and want to know how much is enough for me to feel comfortable retiring. $1.4 million sounds like a lot, but I don't have a good handle on how long that would last. That's a really good question, Dave, and I feel like a lot of people kind of have that thought in their mind. I've got this money. How do I know if it's enough? How do I know if I can retire or when I can retire? And I feel like it's more about being able to and being happy with living off the interest. So if you looked at 1.4 million and it's invested, let's say that you're averaging a 10% rate of return, are you able to live on the 10% comfortably with inflation, with all of your expenses? So in his case, $140,000 a year. Does that feel right? If you feel like yes, then great.
It'll last forever.
It'll last forever because you're never touching the principal.
Yeah, it'll keep laying the golden eggs.
That's right. And that's really where you want to be. You don't ever want to have to touch that money. But if you're looking at that and you're like, oh, I don't know, like living on $140,000, I've been living off of $200. If you've got a house payment, there's so many things to consider. But that's ultimately, at the end of the day, what we want to be looking at is living off the interest and if that's possible for you. So.
Yeah, and here's a simple equation, and it is probably overly simple, but just to kind of give you an idea. All right. Inflation, not counting lately, or counting lately actually, and for the last 75 years has averaged 4%, 4.2%. Okay, now lately we've been closer to 10.
Sure.
And in the 70s we were at 12. But the average over the last 75 years is 4.2. All right. Now, the average stock market rate of return is 11.8 since the stock market began. That's the average annual return if you had invested in growth stock mutual funds across the stock market, okay? Now, so if we just use rough numbers, let's say 12% rate of return, which my personal mutual funds have averaged that for decades now. So averaged. Some years not, some years a lot more. Average.
That's right.
Remember sixth grade math.
Can you explain
average?
Because I know all the time people fight us on that. The difference between annual or like annualized rate of return, looking at it over the track record of it.
Just look at and say, what did you make? Okay, because this is how wealthy people look at it. They go, all right, if I'm making 12 and I'm losing 4 in purchasing power because of inflation, the cost of bread went up, the cost of electricity went up, the cost of cars and tires went up. The cost of ... went up 4%. So if I'm making 12 and I'm losing 4 in purchasing power, if I pull off 8, my mutual funds will grow by 4 a year, but they have to do that to break even in purchasing power. So if you're earning 12 and pulling off 4, you're getting a cost of living raise every year. But it's a cost of living raise. It's not anymore. You're not gaining actual wealth,
right? It's
net of inflation. You're gaining, but you're gaining actual dollars to offset the inflation. Okay,
right.
So if you did that, and if you want to use different numbers, use different numbers. Use 11 and 5, then you'd pull off 6. Okay, I don't care, but that's how you can go at it. So if you got $1 million and you pull off 8, that's 80,000. That means you made 120, so your million grew by 40,000, and you lived on the 80. Then, so if you can live off of 8% and you're invested in good mutual funds, you probably pretty much do it in perpetuation. It might dip into it a little, and it might refill in another year.
Yeah.
But overall, it'll pretty much run like a machine the rest of your life, assuming that the American economy continues to do what it has done for the last 80 years.
Well, and this is one of those reasons it's so important to do what we teach: pay off your debt, pay off your mortgage, so that when you're going into retirement, your cost of living is not sky high, right?
And let me tell you something else. Here, There are some really stupid people that write financial articles all over the internet. And here's what's stupid about them. All right. They run all these numbers out in great detail on math, and they do not grasp that life will never, ever happen the way they laid it out.
Right.
So the way we just laid this out, do you think that the chances that guy's 1.4 million that he's going to live on exactly 140 or exactly 8% of that,
right,
which would be more like 100? Okay, is he actually going to do it exactly that way? Are those mutual funds going to earn exactly a market rate of return, or are they going to make a little more or a little less?
That's right.
What's going to actually happen is he's probably going to live on less than that, and this money's going to grow. And there's some other factors that we haven't even considered in this, like his life and his health.
Absolutely.
And his marriage, and an inheritance comes or doesn't come in addition to this. There's all kinds of other crap that's going to happen. And so these guys, when they're writing these financial articles, act like, well, I mean, if you miss this by 0.2%, you're not going to make it. You can't estimate this. You can't forecast it within 0.2%. If you're, unless you're God, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And I promise you, God is not writing financial articles on TikTok. Okay, it's definitely not happening. So I can tell because the people doing it are idiots and God's fairly smart. So the point is, these guys are become such math nerds. They think all this stuff operates in an exact little vacuum, and it never works out that way. I mean, can you imagine if today with, I've got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of real estate today. None of that was in my equation.
Right.
None of it.
Yeah.
I mean, all you do is be one piece of real estate off.
That's right.
And the whole thing changes. So, you're in one way or the other. One business that you sell, or that has a hit and booms. That's right. One little thing. So you're 30 years old. You can't predict when you're 70 exactly where you're going to be, but you can have a target.
That's right.
And say, based on that target, I know that if I'm 25 years old and I average 12% and I put $100 a month away from age 25 to age 65, that the math tells me that's $1,176,000. Is it going to happen exactly that way? I just said it wasn't. But that's what the math can predict for you. It can go, oh, so we could have over $1 million. So we have hope. We're not going to wait on Karl Marx and socialism to fix this.
Right.
We're actually going to work and save and live on less than we make and be on a budget and keep our butts out of debt. This is The Ramsey Show. We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility, because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily, so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, a packed house, and on the debt-free scream, April is with us. Hi, April. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Jade.
Hey.
Where do you live?
I live in Harker Heights, Texas. It's about 45 minutes north of Austin, outside of Fort Hood.
Yeah, okay. Very cool. Very cool. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you paid, April?
$740,619.
Yo! Wow!
Oh, whoa, okay. And how long does this take?
4 years, 8 months, and 2 days.
Good Lord, girl. And your range of income during that 4 years?
It was $134,000 to $151,000 last year.
Wow. Okay.
Goodness.
You did not make enough to
You had
do
to
that
sell
in 4 years.
something.
Well, you must have sold something big.
Yes, I had the 2 rental homes from previous duty stations.
So you're military?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service. What do you do in the military?
I am retired as of July 1st. I'm a retired Black Hawk pilot.
Say what?
Girl, you're BA. Serious.
Sometimes. Wow. I'm retired now.
We're in the presence of royalty here. Oh,
Wow.
man.
Okay. She could take both of us down, Dave.
Deep respect right here. Yeah, well done. Very cool. And 700. Oh, and go ahead. Now I get the helicopter on the T-shirt. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, $740,000. Now, how much of that was the rental property?
It was $425,000.
Okay. What are you going to do now that you've retired?
I took a year off. I'm taking a year off. I'm taking a gap year. I had a best friend get married. My son graduated college and high school last month.
Very cool.
And so I'm gonna do my debt-free scream and then figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
Wow.
And I can do that now.
Very cool. I'm proud of you. Very good. Well, we're honored to have you here.
I mean,
and what an
comes-
incredible story you are. So, okay, so you sell off the rental properties. What started all this? How'd you get started on this?
2018, I was passed over for the second time for a major. And in the military, when you're an officer and when you get passed over 2 times, you get kicked out in 7 months. So for the first time, I wrote down all my debts, say what kind of job, what kind of salary do I need in the civilian world. And I'm a single mom, so it was very important to me. And at the first time, that's how much I realized I was in debt. And I always wanted to get into criminal justice, so I needed obviously a 6-figure job. And starting in criminal justice jobs wasn't that. So there killed 2 dreams. And then I was worried that I might have to claim bankruptcy, which my parents claimed bankruptcy when I was growing up, and I vowed to never do that. And so I decided to do one of those debt consolidation things. And then I was talking to a friend of mine from flight school who is an Apache pilot in Colorado named Lena. And she was passed over as well. And so we were kind of bonding over it, that we were getting out, we were getting stressed. And she says, well, hey, I'm going to start doing this Dave Ramsey plan. I'm like, what is that? So I looked you up online and saw you had books. And I saw the website. And I'm like, I'm not giving him my money right now. So I went to the library, checked out the book, and I read it that night. That night was April 21st, 2018. And I was hooked ever since. I bought every book since then, and I was doing it on my own until turns out so the Army needed us to stay, so they offered me CellCon, so they were going to let me finish to my 20, which got me to July 1st, 2022.
Wow.
So I was able to stay, but at that point in time, I was like, well, I don't want to be in that situation again in 5 years. 5 years is going to pass anyways.
Yeah.
So I might as well be out of debt. So I buckled down. Rice and beans, luckily, that's all my son likes, so we kind of looked on that. I was stationed in Pennsylvania at the time. We moved to Texas in 2019. In 2020, we were, during COVID, we were quarantined for about 6 weeks at Fort Hood, and during that time I was marathon listening to your show, and I heard that there was a free financial coaching call. So I signed up for that. Caroline called me that night, which was actually April 21st, 2020 exactly.
Caroline is one of your Ramsey financial coaches.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Actually, it was 2 years to the day. April 21st, 2020 is when she called me back.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And actually my free call ended up being like 3 or 4 hours. We just talked and bonded over that. She talked me into going to FPU. I'm a self-learner. I like to read. And I was like, I already read it. I can't get nothing out of FPU. Put it in FPU. I've taken FPU 17 times since.
Whoa!
17?
Yes, sir. And I taught it twice.
Well, thank you.
gosh.
Thank you for teaching it. So what did, was she right? Obviously, if you went 17 freaking times, but what do you get from FP you didn't get from reading?
I say it's kind of like my AA meeting. I show up, and that way I'm in. I have a group of people that are like me, because when you go around to work saying, "Oh, get rid of your credit cards," and no one really, it's so weird. No one really wants to accept that yet. So I feel alone at work for a while.
You got to get a group of people that are doing the same thing you're doing, and that's what it is. It's the tribe.
Yes, sir. And after a couple of times of going, I just love watching people grow over.
How's it feel to be completely free?
Oh, it's such a weight lifted, and
you're such a precise person. Every date is memorized. I mean, Black Hawk Pilot, you don't miss any detail.
Yes,
everything's dialed in. But have you dialed in the feeling and like?
That wasn't in the checklist in the baby steps, sir. I'm a checklist person.
It's a flight checklist. Okay. At baby step 7, when you have no debt and you can breathe, you're supposed to breathe.
Oh, okay.
There's that part. Yeah.
Yes,
breathe.
Sir. You need to add that into FPU, sir.
Okay. All right. Golly. Wow. Man, I love it. You're so intense. So very well done. Yeah. Now, how does it feel?
It feels amazing. I like that I broke my family curse, and then I have a legacy behind. My son, actually, I tricked him into doing the high school foundations. I bought it for him for Christmas, and I said, "Hey, when you finish this course, there's $100 waiting for you." He waited till the last minute to do it, but once he did it, he has a notebook full of notes on the course, and then he said he wanted to be FPU. He said he wanted he went and got a part-time job and started his own IRA. At 16, so.
Very cool.
Oh, dude, well done.
Wow.
Yeah, you've changed your family tree.
Big
yes,
time.
Sir.
Yeah, you did. Way to go. I'm so proud of you. Yes, so proud of you. Okay, now when you're coordinating those classes with paying off $740,000, what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
The key to getting out of debt, for me, since it was a long time, the number one thing is coffee. And then number 2, second grade math skills, and 3, you just gotta hate debt.
I love second grade math skills. Come on and tell the truth.
Yes, you gotta hate debt. You can't love it, because when you're in love, you overlook things. But when you hate something, or you can't stand, everyone hasn't been able to stand a coworker, and you know his schedule. You know if he's 30 seconds late to work.
Okay.
You follow him, and that's what you have to do with your debt.
I think this is personal for you.
I know, right?
I don't even know who this guy is, and I'm worried about him.
Okay, I don't want to be on your bad side.
Yeah, this is not good. Yeah.
Speaking for a friend.
She's got details. I'm just saying. Got a plan. You're amazing. You're amazing. Very well done.
Cool.
I feel if there's a few more of you out there, I think we in America are well protected. Oh my goodness. BA. Wow. Unbelievable. Black Hawk. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and thank you for your incredible story and your inspiration. You're an inspiring young woman, and to say thank you for serving, and to say thank you for leading Financial Peace University twice, and going through it 17 times, and walking with your coach. We want to offer to train you to become a Ramsey coach. Would you do that if I pay for it?
Absolutely, sir.
All right, we're going to pay for it for you, all right?
That's it.
All right. Good deal. And we got this books and stuff too for you too, but I think you've already bought them all. So,
yes, sir. But
my gosh.
I hand them out, so.
Yeah, I mean, to have somebody like you out there coaching for Ramsey.
I know, right?
Look out, Visa. Look out, Visa. I'm just saying, you're going down.
She got tabs on you.
Yeah. Look out, Sally Mae. You in danger. All right, April from Killeen, Texas. Wow, $740,000 paid off in 4 years and 8 months, selling the rental properties and doing it, making $134 to $151. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! I almost made a Black Hawk pilot cry. I saw it. This is the Ramsey Show. Scripture of the day, Proverbs 21:11. When a scoffer is punished, the simple becomes wise. When a wise man is instructed, he gains knowledge. Eleanor Roosevelt said, learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all. That's pretty good.
That is good.
Pretty good. I'll take that one. Hey, back at the first of the year, we told you the housing market was not going to melt down. It didn't. We told you the market was going to slow down. It did. And we told you that we were going to continue to see a slight rise in values and prices, and they have. We told you there's going to continue to be a shortage of real estate, and there is. Interest rates have continued to go up, and everybody's walking around with their lips stuck out, but real estate's still selling. And houses are still selling. If you're getting ready to sell a house, this is a great time to sell a house. Mm-hmm. If you're getting ready to buy a house, great time to buy a house. If you want to refinance and get rid of the higher interest rate, if rates go down, you could do that later. But this is, you're not going to get a better deal 4 years from now. It's going to be higher. This is the time, if you're ready to buy. And you need a Ramsey trusted agent by your side. These guys and gals got our team's stamp of approval because they are top-tiered real estate agents that you can trust to handle something important. They're not brand new. They do a lot of transactions. We've vetted them. Mm-hmm. We've done our very best to find the best possible people we can endorse. They're endorsed local providers for real estate, and they're Ramsey trusted. Go to RamseySolutions.com/agent to connect to one near you. Doesn't cost a thing to connect to them. That's RamseySolutions.com/agent. Brandy is in Sacramento. Hi, Brandy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. I thank you, first of all, for taking my call. So to get straight to it, I inherited my grandmother's home. She passed away in October of 21.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. We only have property tax, so the house is paid off. Mm-hmm. This is a 30-plus-year-old home that's needing improvement. My husband and I both work full-time. Mm-hmm. We have 5 beautiful children to provide and care for. Mm-hmm. We are in debt, a little over $45,000, mm-hmm. And are looking to.
Are you living in the house?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What were you paying before in rent?
So prior to moving in with her, before she passed, we were renting.
I know. And what were you paying?
$1,350.
Okay. All right. And what do you guys make? What's your household income?
Our household income altogether is a little over $6,000, but with child support that I do receive, it's $7,362.
Okay, so $85,000 a year income. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you have $45,000 worth of debt. What kind of debt?
Most of it is mine. I did purchase a vehicle, so I have $25,000 left, and then $13,000 in student loans.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then the rest is like.
And what are the repairs to the house that you want to do?
Well, there was water damage to the floor, and then windows that would be needing replaced or upgraded to more energy efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the cost of all that? Have you kind of priced it out to see what that would cost you?
Yeah, flooring, no. Windows, it's like $8,000 to $10,000. Mm-hmm. What we were looking at. I am reaching out to like PG&E in our area to see if there's any weatherization programs that they have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so your net question is what?
Well, we'd like to look at consolidating in some way, and I heard about refinancing or HELOC, and was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
You have a paid-for house. If you go get a mortgage on it, I'm going to smack you.
Okay, so that's...
And I'm going to watch...
That would be a no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. Your grandmother will come back and haunt... No.
I know, yeah.
No. Absolutely. You sell your car is what you do.
Uh-huh.
Sell the car?
Uh-huh. You have a paid-for house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have a car you can't afford.
Yep.
If you got rid of
$600 payment.
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
And you could take that payment and a $1,300 rent that you don't have any more. That's $2,000 a month, and very quickly you could buy $8,000 worth of windows.
Okay.
And very quickly, you could knock out that $13,000 of student loans soon after.
Okay.
You could be debt-free, have the windows paid off, fix the floor, all in a little over a year, and be driving a $5,000 paid-for car. I'd rather have that and a paid-for house with windows than I would a stupid car.
And see, here's what's going to happen with this. The difference between you cash flowing this is if you cash flowing this means I'm getting the windows I need and I'm getting the floors I need. You taking out a HELOC is also an excuse for, well, let's just go ahead and renovate the downstairs. And let's just go ahead, because that's what happens. People pull that money, and in their mind, it's like free money, right? And it's an excuse to do this and that. Well, it's for the house. It's,
but I mean, let's think about where you could be 3 years from now. A completely renovated house and 100% debt-free. Holy crud.
Yeah. That ain't bad.
That's a good place to aim at. Yeah. And from there, you could really build some serious wealth. I mean, you got a paid-for house in Sacramento, freaking California.
Yeah.
That's no slats. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Let's don't mess this up in the name of a dadgum car.
Whew.
Not a chance. All right, Kendall is with us. Kendall's in Spokane. Hi, Kendall. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I was just wondering about how much taxes you think I would be responsible for if I cashed out a individual stock, or if I should just leave it alone where it's at.
Where'd you get the individual stock?
It was gifted to me by my grandparents when I was born, and I turned 30 this year.
Okay. Your basis in the stock is what they paid for it. You'll pay taxes on the difference in what they paid for it and the current sale rate. Do you have any idea what they paid for it?
Ooh, I would probably have to do some digging.
Yeah,
all I know is that they bought like 40 shares, and now there's an additional like 104 on top of that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so you're probably the vast majority of, what's the total value of all of that?
Just over 40 grand.
Okay. You probably have 15% tax on almost all of it. It's capital gains rate. And so, you probably got a $6,000 or an $8,000 tax bill. And yes, I would cash it in and use it for wherever you are on the baby steps.
Okay. We're just about to finish baby step 2.
Yeah. So if you had $40,000 sitting in the middle of the table, you would not go buy this stock.
Correct.
And so by keeping it, you're making the decision to buy it again every day.
Okay.
So I'm just reverse engineering for you here.
Yep.
That's all we're doing.
Great.
Yeah,
Love it.
That sets you up, and you can go. I think everyone hates taxes so bad that it sometimes will keep you from doing what you're supposed to do because you might have to pay a little tax. But I mean, it's a $40,000 gift.
Yeah.
And you net out, 34 or 35 or whatever it ends up being exactly after taxes. Yeah, and you get to clean up your whole mess and move on. If you're using that to take leaps forward in the debt-free journey, it causes your grandparents who gave that to you to smile.
That's right. It's worth it, and that's what they'd want you to do with it, I think.
Yeah, as long as you're not being, we're not cashing out to buy a car.
Right.
We're not cashing out to go on vacation and waste it. We're cashing out to move forward in our financial plan.
And that's what I hope she's doing with it.
Yeah, that's the whole process there. Very, very well done. Good stuff. Yeah, and so, when you're analyzing this, now there's sometimes you want to look at the taxes and the penalties and stuff, and like we tell you, don't cash out 401ks.
Oh, of course, never that.
Yeah.
Not until it's
Jade
retirement
Washaw,
age.
Ramsey Personality, was my co-host today. That about puts this particular hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
What's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.